Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jingle, and welcome back to another episode of Thriller Video Thursday. We are on number 8, which is very exciting. I think we're about 1/3 of the way done going through all these. For those of you that are new here and don't know what I'm doing, every Thursday I'm reviewing a different Thriller Video VHS tape as part of my Thriller Video haul that I got. These are all hosted by yours cruelly, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I love Elvira. I've always been in love with her ever since I first saw her. She is one of my favorite horror hosts ever, and she is just an 80s icon. So many people know who Elvira is, but I've had so much fun going through all these. And this week, the one we are doing is The Monster Club. It was released in April of 1981, and it was directed by Roy Ward Baker, who is best known for The Vampire Lovers, Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, and Scars of Dracula, one of my favorite Christopher Lee Dracula Hammer horror films. I'm a sucker for classic horror movies. I'm working on a Universal Monsters sleeve, for those of you that care to see. But I also have Frankenstein right there, but it's coming along really well. I actually have my next session on it at the end of this month. I'm going to be getting The Mummy and The Wolfman and possibly The Phantom of the Opera if we have the time to do that. But I love classic horror and I have so much respect for it. But I want to show you guys a little tease from this one. So check this out.
It was the best blood I have ever tasted.
He's giving you a very special invitation.
This one was so much fun, guys. For those of you that didn't see, it's actually starring Vincent Price and John Carradine. And Vincent Price actually plays a vampire, and he meets John Carradine, who plays a horror author, and he invites him to his monster club with all kinds of ghouls and monsters in it. And so far, this is my favorite monologue of the Elvira films. I had a ton of fun with this one. It is the second feature-length film out of these Thriller videos that we've been reviewing, and it's also an anthology film, which I love anthology movies. Like Trick or Treat is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. This score reminds me of like a Looney Tunes cartoon at the beginning. It's really lighthearted and comedic, and Vincent Price, like, I have such a soft spot for him. I love everything that he's in. He is such an icon, and you can just tell that he doesn't even mind that he got typecast in horror movies because he just has so much fun with every role that he takes on. So he plays a character named Aramis, and like I said, he's a vampire. And the beginning of this, you saw a little clip of it in the trailer, but like there's all these monsters dancing around. They're all wearing these cheesy masks and stuff. And like I just love the environment. And each of the 3 segments starts off with like a song corresponding with the story that's about to tell. So I really like that one. The opening song, it reminds me of like an 80s version of the Monster Mash, which is a lot of fun. But like the first story is about a monster called the Shadmock, and he hires a financially struggling young woman to help take care of his manor, and her boyfriend wants her to get close to him because he's super rich, and so he wants to like her to marry him to get his wealth. And it turns out that the Shadmock has some kind of demonic whistling power, and there's a really cool ending to this segment when he whistles and like they're at like this ball and all these dancers like freeze and spot, and he just gruesomely melts the girl's face off. It doesn't show it happening, but it shows it like after it happened, and the effects is so awesome. It's all wet and melty. This was my second favorite segment. The next one is called The Vampires, and it actually has a guest appearance from Donald Pleasence himself, Dr. Loomis, which was really awesome. He stars as one of the hunters, and I just love how all these songs coincide with the stories. They're really well done. So this one is about poor child that belongs to this family of vampires gets bullied at school, and he doesn't know that his parents are vampires, and some vampire hunters discover the family and plan to attack. And Donald Pleasence's character at the end, he actually ends up getting bit and turned into a vampire himself. And then his own men are forced to hunt him. And the ending of this one has a great payoff. It's really, really awesome. That one was my favorite one out of these. The last one was my least favorite. This one is the story of the ghouls. There's really cool effects with like a dancing skeleton leading up to it, like when it flashes back to the club where they're talking and telling the story. And there's like this like monster mask with eyeballs popping out of it and stuff. It's a lot of fun. So I really loved the beginning scenery of this one. Like there's like spider webs everywhere and all kinds of like candelabras, and it's like really like ominous and foggy. But then it turns out that it's just a set of a horror movie. So this one is actually about a horror movie director that goes scouting locations, and he ends up at an isolated village and gets trapped there, and the residents are refusing to let him leave. So this one was my least favorite. Like I said, it just didn't really keep me as engaged as the other ones. There's also this storytelling segment at the end with some really cool imagery that's really well done. But like I said, guys, this was my least favorite segment, but overall, I still really, really enjoy this one a lot. The Welcome to the Monster Club song at the end was so awesome and so nostalgic. It's like this 80s hair band singing it, and I just had so much fun going through this one. This one is by far my favorite of the Thriller videos so far. It's number one. I'm a sucker for like these like nods to classic horror, and this just reminded me of like a classic Hammer horror film, and I really loved it. So I'm going to show you guys the tape itself now. This is the Monster Club tape. The one that I got is super clean besides the sticker up here, but I'm not complaining at all. Like I said, these old tapes are really hard to keep in pristine condition, but this is my favorite artwork so far. You got Vincent Price right here. I love that, and all the monsters and stuff, all the colors, like the different colors make it pop so awesome. I especially love that little monster right there with like the smirk and like the 4 eyes. Is really awesome. Love the pose of Elvira with the skeleton here. This is by far my favorite artwork out of all the tapes we reviewed so far. So this is starring Vincent Price and John Carradine, like I said, and it's hosted by Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. There is the back. She is just sitting enjoying some popcorn, but I'll read you guys what it says on the back because these are always so much fun to read. So this says, well, howdy hi, Thriller video fans. It's me, that gal with the set that you won't soon forget, and I ain't talking about the Zenith. Anywho, tonight you're going to enter the Monster Club. It's a ghoulish goulash of 3 terrifying tales starring a pair of macabredoms, like stardoms, but macaberdoms finest, John Carradine and Vincent Price. Believe me, honey, most of the characters in this club are real barf bags. Honestly, they could drive you to drink, but don't go near the bar. Count Dracula's the bartender, and he's got the meanest Bloody Marys in town. Bon appetit. And this was a feature-length film. It was like an hour and 40 minutes with all the monologues and stuff. But I had so much fun with this, guys. So far, my rankings of these, this is number 1, and the one we reviewed last week, the Frankenstein, is number 2. I'm coming to realize that I like the full-length ones a lot more. But next week, we are going to be talking about Witching Time, which I've heard is a really good one. So I'm super excited to check that one out. I have so much fun going through these Thriller videotapes, and I was so excited to just get them all in one fell swoop. That was one of my goals this year, was to complete the Elvira Thriller video collection, and I managed to do that. So I really want to complete the Goosebumps VHS and Are You Afraid of the Dark VHS tapes and the Tales from the Crypt collection back there. I did a video on that. I'm missing like one of those from that line. I want to collect all the Tales from the Crypt tapes. The Crypt Keeper and Tales from the Crypt is like my favorite horror media anything ever. But that is all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for hanging out. Please remember to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.